Warframe getting more and more broken each patch. It's nothing new really, but it's Archgun's turn to shake the meta. D. Listen to me here, D. Putting something crazy in your coffee lately? So you had this good idea, which was to buff Archguns. Yeah, they kinda sucked ass, but instead of adding one arcane slot and maybe some, I don't know, galvanized mods, you added 2 arcane slots, and one is primary and the other one is secondary? What the hell? But nonetheless, we are allowed to use the tools we are given, so today, just for you, I have 4 of my favorite archgun builds used specifically as heavy weapons, and there is one thing in common for all of the builds for today. They just delete everything off the screen. Starting off with my old favorite, Larkspur Prime. This weapon is basically Nucor, but with 50-meter range and 0 aiming required. We go with viral heat. I know, how original. All of the element mods are 60-60 with the exception of adding another flat heat mod just for that weighting so we would get more heat procs. More fire rate, duh, it's a beam weapon. Then we have prime dual rounds for multi-shot. This is an automatic slot for any archgun. Then hollowed bullets for more crit damage and finishing the build off with primed base damage. Now as you see, we don't have crit chance on the build, but we do have secondary enervate, giving us an insane amount of crit chance, and since this is a really fast fire rate weapon, it works really well. Now I know I said you don't need to aim at all, but primary crux is just too good to pass. It will literally get stacked in plus minus half a second, giving us 300% status chance and 60% ammo efficiency whenever we hit the enemy weak point, aka head. Now of course you can add frame buffs or abilities and make this even better, but the point was to show you everything at base value. Overall, a great gun, very fun to use, and I must say that finally our guns feel like a heavy weapon. You know, it felt so bad to go through this whole animation of summoning your archgun just to hit like a wet noodle. The second build we have is Cortege. This might be the most insane glow up I've ever seen in a weapon. Now you have to keep in mind that unfortunately, even though at first glance, at this patch it seemed that there will be a lot of options for builds, considering 2 different arcane slots, somehow there really is not that much different options, so you will see some patterns, but I've tried my best to make all of the builds feel unique in some way. So here, since our crit stats are better, we are not forced into playing Enervate, instead we are going to have Flare, which gives us maximum amount of base damage of any arcane. And once again we have Crux. It's just so easy to hit head with this gun that it really would be a waste not to. And since no Enervate, we got Parallax Scope for crit chance and critical focus for more crit chance and crit damage. If you still want the Enervate build, here you go, you just need to switch a couple of mods. So Cortege is definitely in the top 3 best archguns, if not just straight up the best. With frame buffs, it will easily go level cap without any problem. I really find it comparable to Furious Incarnate, for example. 10 out of 10, I will definitely smash the Archimedia with this. On the third we have Zudonek Kuva Grattler. Ruxafudu Pigra. By the way, are we speaking in hieroglyphics or what? So this weapon is a bit special, and let me show you what I mean. Why is it doing crazy red crits even though we have Enervate? Why are the bullets being eaten and not doing damage? Maybe we should ask the DE spaghetti coding, but I at least know why Enervate doesn't work properly. So basically, since this weapon has another instance of splash damage, we have Enervate getting confused and we gain ridiculous amount of crit chance sometimes. The base value will act as the value gained by this splash damage. It's just so funny and stupid. The progenitor I have here is cold, but honestly if you have toxin, cold or electricity, it's all pretty much the same thing. Since I was sick of viral heat, I decided to be original with this build. So we have corrosive and cold. And why it's so good? Because it acts as sort of a CC, since all of the enemies will be slowed. You get critical damage and multi-shot. And that multi-shot will make this red crit feature occur even more often than usual. And of course, to make it even possible, we got Enervate. Remember though, you have no base damage anymore, so we need to run primed base damage. And we have quick reload to keep the DPS up and help you with setting up the red crits. All you need to do is shoot a bit and reload, and the 2-second reload is just too long, so this mod will put it down to 1 second. And honestly, the new cold is really good, it adds like 100% more crit damage. Will DE fix? Probably. Is it going to happen soon? Probably not. At last but not the least, we have the new archgun that arrived with Noko. Arbucep. I'm gonna be honest, it just looks like a schlong. But now you might look at this weapon and think, what the hell am I looking at? And let me tell you, all that matters is that we have viral corrosive heat, so this weapon has innate viral. We just build it for corrosive and heat. And once again we have quick reload cause this thing eats magazines for dessert. For the arcanes we have primary merciless for base damage and enervate once again. I mean, just look at that crit damage, that's nuts. Yet another seeking missile weapon, definitely a one of a kind, and it did not disappoint on the damage department. Overall a very great patch, we are getting more options in what is viable and who knows. Maybe we are actually getting galvanized mods for Archguns in the future. But what we really need is more mods, cause let's be real, that's not enough mods. But in general, W patch. If you enjoyed the video and want to see more, to consider leaving a like, subscribe and or a comment. I will catch you in the next one.